I have spent thousands of hours editing photos and videos over the years, and one thing that I've never really questioned is the way that we edit. But I'm currently in the process of moving into being a full-time creator, and it got me thinking about the whole editing process, because we spend thousands and thousands of pounds on cameras, lenses, computers, all to improve our work and our workflow. But the actual process of editing, which is where we all spend most of our time, sat in places like this in front of our computers, we just always end up using the same tools that we've always used, just a keyboard and a mouse or a trackpad. So when xppen got in touch asking if I wanted to try the new Pilot Pro editing controller, it seemed like a good opportunity to just try something new. And this can be used for a whole number of different things across different editing softwares for both photo and video. Now this video is sponsored by xppen, but as usual they've not asked me to say anything, and all of the thoughts in this video are entirely my own. I have been using this little controller for the last few weeks, and I've got some thoughts about it, but in this video I don't just want to run through specs and features. I want to actually find out if learning how to physically change how you interact with your editing software can actually make editing faster, more enjoyable, and maybe even allow you to be a bit more creative. The idea behind this is incredibly simple, and it is that instead of relying purely on a keyboard, your most used actions on keyboard shortcuts get assigned to physical buttons and dials on here. So instead of reaching around trying to remember your shortcuts, you can just simply press a button and it does exactly what you've set it to do. So it's got 3 dials on the top, which can be used for adjusting settings, scrubbing timelines and things like that. And there are 4 buttons on each side, 4 buttons on top, and you can press these as well. So there's loads of buttons that can also be used to assign different things to, and you can build separate profiles for things like Lightroom, Photoshop, DaVinci, Final Cut Pro, Premiere, whatever you're using. And I'll be honest, it can be quite daunting when you're first trying to figure it out, because you have so much muscle memory from all of the years editing in your typical way that it doesn't necessarily feel natural straight away. But the more that you use it and you start to learn the process, you realize that it can actually remove quite a lot of the friction that comes with editing. It also comes with this nice little travel case, so you can travel with it if you want to, and it feels really well made. It's got a nice grippy texture on the bottom of it, so it's not going to slip around on your desk as you're using it. And all of the buttons have this nice sort of soft press, and the dials have a really nice haptic feedback when you turn them as well. If you want to try the Pilot Pro for yourself, check the link in the description for 20% off at the checkout. So the first thing you want to do when it comes to setting it up is you want to customize it around how you actually edit and not copy someone else's setup. And this is what is going to benefit you the most in the long run. You need to plug it in and with either the USB-C cable or the Bluetooth adapter and download the Pilot Pro app. All you really need to do then is set up a profile for each specific piece of software that you want to use. And then on the controller, you can just press a button, type in the box which keyboard shortcut you want to assign to that button or dial, and that is it. And then when you go back to that piece of software, that button will work with that shortcut that you've assigned. So for me, when it comes to Final Cut Pro, which is my main video editing software for all of my YouTube stuff, I've got the buttons on the left here and the right, which will work with my thumb, set up for all of my cut, delete, undo, ripple deletes, things like adding a spacer. So I can do all of those different things just without moving my hand position, just by pressing the buttons on the side of the controller. And then this big dial here I have to set to control how I zoom into my timeline, and then this little dial on the front I can fine tune where the playhead is so I can make even finer and more precise cuts. And that is really handy for things like when I'm editing my talking head footage, because it has sped it up so much. I can fly through it now, and I never need to touch my keyboard at all, because I can use my mouse in my right hand to control the main playhead in Final Cut, and then I can zoom in and out and get really precise as to where the playhead is with the little dials, and then I can just make all of my individual cuts, trims and deletes with all of the buttons on the side purely with my left hand without having to move it off this controller. And this is the part that matters a little bit more than I expected, because this controller isn't gonna straight away make you edit faster as soon as you pull it out of the box, and the benefit is actually going to come from taking the time to build something that fits into your workflow. So taking the time to get it set up in a way that works for you, where it is quick and easy for you to remember where you set up your shortcuts. Like with anything, there is a little bit of a learning curve. And like I said, you've built up muscle memory with all of your different keyboard shortcuts over the years. But if you take the time to get it set up and you put in the reps and start editing a few videos with it, you will very quickly start to realize how it can fit into your workflow. The real test though wasn't clicking through settings, and it was using it for actual real work. In Lightroom, you can make the dials on top of the controller control things like the exposure and contrast by setting them to adjust the sliders inside Lightroom, which makes it really intuitive. And in DaVinci, what is really nice is that you can use it for color grading in a similar way to what you would with the DaVinci Resolve color editing panel. So if you hover over a color wheel, for example, in DaVinci, you can then use the joystick to move around, and that makes the whole color grading process feel so tactile and a bit more intuitive. What is really cool though is that you can have different setups on this controller for the same piece of software. So for example, say you want to have a bunch of shortcuts set up on it so you can cut all of your footage, cut down all of your talking head footage and just use the buttons and the dials to scrub through your timeline. But then say you want to go and color grade, with the flick of a switch you can have different setup for all of your color grading shortcuts. So it's pretty endless in terms of ways to set this up in a way that works for you. And that's the whole idea behind it really. And it can just adapt entirely to the way that you want to work with it. One thing as well is that when you're flicking through different pieces of software, so say you go from Final Cut to Lightroom, it will recognize that automatically and it will switch over from your Final Cut Pro settings to your Lightroom settings without you having to do anything. So you're set up in whatever piece of software you're using. There is a learning curve. It's definitely not perfect immediately because you do have years of keyboard shortcuts built into muscle memory. And there were times where I would instinctively reach for my keyboard out of habit, even when I had hold of the Pilot Pro and everything's set up ready to go. I just naturally gravitate towards using my keyboard because I was used to it. But once you do start to make a conscious effort and use it, it really does genuinely speed you up, which did actually surprise me quite a lot. The way that I use it most of the time is to fly through all of my talking head stuff, which is exactly like this, where I'm sat talking to the camera and it's usually like one 20 to 30 minute take with loads of gaps and a lot of mistakes that need chopping out. And with this, I can just scrub through the timeline dead quickly, get really precise cuts and chop out bits that I need to incredibly quickly. So does this actually make editing faster? And the honest answer to that is it depends. It definitely can do. Like I said, it's really helped me to speed up my talking head section, so it's really nice for that. However, if you have spent years mastering shortcuts, getting everything set up in a way that works for you, this probably won't transform your workflow overnight because you're already going to be incredibly efficient with what you're doing. But there is something else that matters just as much as all of that, and that is reducing friction in the creative process. And if we can reduce friction, then it means we can spend more time being creative and thinking about what we're trying to actually achieve. And I think things like this can help in that. And I always thought things like this were a little bit gimmicky personally, but having used it and found a way that works for me, I can genuinely see how it can make a really big difference. And that being said, it is going to be different for everyone. What works for me might not work for you and vice versa. So the key really is to just spend a little bit of time getting it set up exactly how you want it and just practice using it and building it into your workflow. Is an editing controller something that everyone needs? Probably not. Keyboard shortcuts are going to be there forever and they're still very powerful, and there's nothing wrong with editing in the traditional way. But if you spend a lot of time behind your computer and you enjoy refining your workflow, or you want editing to feel a bit more tactile, I think it is definitely worth exploring. I do think that there is a few ways in which it could be improved though. I'd love to just be able to hover over a tool and adjust it with one of the dials, like you can, for example, when you're color grading in DaVinci with the wheels and the joystick. If you could do that in other pieces of software, I think that would make a huge difference and make it so much more user friendly. I think it would be really cool as well if you could almost create your own shortcuts on the controller specifically, because in Lightroom, for example, you can only really control 3 sliders with the dials, because there's 1, 2, 3 dials on the controller, but there are 4, 8, 12 buttons. So if you could maybe press a button and turn the dial at the same time, that would give you what, 12, 24, 36 other options to be able to control different things in your softwares. So yeah, hopefully they are a few little things that we can start to see in maybe some firmware updates in the future. On the whole though, I do really like it. I enjoy using it, and I think it can genuinely, it has sped up certain parts of my workflow, like I've mentioned. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Is something like this something you are interested in? Do you think it's a little bit gimmicky? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and I shall see you very soon in the next video.